Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Ro here. Thank you for visiting You Grow Ro. If this is your first time, I hope you'll consider subscribing at the end of this video. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you. Today, I'm going to go over my 5 garden resolutions. I usually do this video way earlier in the year, closer to New Year's resolutions time, but obviously I'm running behind because we're like 3 days, 2-3 days away from March, but better late than never. This would be, I believe, my 3rd or 4th time doing this, so this has kind of become an annual tradition for me, if you will. So I'll tell you guys what 5 garden resolutions that I have made for the year of 2024 in just a moment. So, as I stated before, I have chosen to set 5 garden goals for myself, or garden resolutions, as it were. And the first one is one that has been on my list for 3 years running now, and I still am not pulling it off the list because I can still keep working on this, and that is to plant more perennials on the property. I've already gotten started on that. In fact, if you saw my video from probably 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I was showing you guys the new seeds that I dropped and whatnot, you saw that I started some strawberry seeds. Those are perennial, and I'm hoping to put those on my property. You saw that I had some yarrow that I had planted and some valerian as well. I'm also looking to start some cilantro, and I started some lovage here in the office that I plan on putting out, which I put out lovage and cilantro last year, but neither one of them took. The cilantro bolted almost instantly, and the lovage, I think slugs got to it or something, but it got killed off real quick. And so we're going to try that again. Both of those I really want to have in my garden. The cilantro is an alternative to cilantro, which is one of my favorite herbs, and I know it's controversial, but I like it. And then the other one, the lovage, serves as another alternative, but dual purpose. So the stems can be used much like celery, while the leaves can be used much like parsley. And so I want to have that on the property as well. The more perennials, the better in my book. What else did I do? I saw that I have tarragon coming back in my green stalk, and so I'm thinking I want to drop some more tarragon seeds as well. But the thing that I'm most excited about, and I only acquired these seeds, maybe 3 days ago, but I knew they were coming because, as you guys know, I posted a video several weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, talking about joining seed swap groups on Facebook. And one of the seed swap groups that I found is, I forget the name of it, but it's something like Ohio Native Seeds and Plants or something like that. Well, somebody in that group posted that they had all kinds of seeds from native plants to Ohio, and one of them, which I was not familiar with, had never even heard of, was wild basil. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. As I was talking to the gentleman about it, and he was telling me that it's not actually a basil. It's in the mint family, but it has a mild basil flavor, and it's usually used in the same way as regular basil. And so I said, oh my goodness, I had no idea. So I definitely want to give that a try. Not just because it's perennial, but also because basil is not one of my favorite herbs. I know it is for a lot of other people. For me, it's just meh. And so I'm hoping that in having something with a basil flavor, but much milder, I might like it a little bit better. And then also have it perpetually show up year after year after year. Well, perennially. So I'm really excited about my wild basil, and I'm already, like I said, getting started on plenty of other perennials to put on the property. My second gardening goal resolution is a repeat from last year. It is one that I didn't get accomplished last year, and that is to install a rain barrel. Now that I'm adding 2 more beds to my yard, I really want to get some more watering options out in the backyard. I don't have a large backyard, but I will tell you that dragging that 100-foot hose around all those containers and the deck and whatnot, it's a bit tedious. And so I would like to get a rain barrel put in the backyard that I can water the raised beds with, and then use the hose to water my green stalks and my containers and whatever's I'm growing up on the deck, that sort of thing. So I'm putting rain barrel back on the goal list of goals this year, and I am halfway there. I'm not going to tell you what I already bought, but I'm halfway there, and I'm going to be making my own this year, same as I did when I was on the other property, except I left it there like a dum-dum, and now I have to build a new one. So I'm doing that. I'm halfway there got half of my supplies. I just needed to pick up a few more things, but I have some time because I won't be able to plant out until, May at the earliest. Well, I'm going to do some cold crops, but nothing that's going to be needing to be watered in the type of frequency where I would need my rain barrel to be operational. All right, and goal or resolution number 3 is to trellis my tomatoes. Last year, I didn't do it. Every other year, I've done it. And last year, I don't know, I got lazy. I don't know. I didn't end up doing it, and it was kind of a mess, right? My tomatoes were all over the walkways. They were falling all over in the bed. It was hard to find the right fruits, even though the fruits were a different color than the leaves. When the leaves are so dense, you can't see those fruits in there. And then I was having just some pest pressure, but not much. And so I want to do better this year. I'm going to do better. Normally, in the past, I had always grown determinate tomatoes, and so staking wasn't really a requirement. But now that I'm growing in ground, I'm growing these tomato plants that are just growing until the weather kills them, and I'm finding that I can't have those laying all around. It was kind of a nightmare, and I don't want to do that again. So my 3rd goal of resolution is to trellis my tomatoes. Resolution number 4 is to take notes. I say I'm going to do this all the time, and I usually start out pretty good, and then, very quickly fall off. And the problem is that, I've tried using apps, and I don't end up using those. I get tired of searching through, and then you can't put all the information that you want, and customizing things is a pain in the butt, and this, that, and the other. So then I don't do that. Then I go to, I'm going to use a notebook. But then I found that I don't use the same information from plant to plant, veggie to veggie, herb to herb. And so it's really inconsistent whenever I'm just using a notebook and taking notes. So this year, I bought a book that I think pretty much spells out for me everything that I want to keep track of. And I made copies of it. I've already started. It's going really well. We're only 2 months in now, but it's going really well. Everything that I have started seeds for is in that book right now. And all of the information is consistent across the board because I'm using a template. And so I'm really excited. But I will note that the only reason my channel was ever even born is because I was so bad at taking notes. And I decided to start recording when I was doing things and how I was doing them so that I could go back and find that information, because relying on my memory was a fool's errand. I don't remember ish, okay? I don't. I just do not. I take that back. I remember things that I want to remember. I have a selective memory, I think is what they call it. And but if it's something, technical that I'm just not all that interested in at the moment, it's gone. Just like that. It's a fart in the wind. So this year I'm trying to take better notes, and so far, 2 months in, I'm doing great. And then my fifth and final goal for the garden this year is to grow some fruit. Now, last year, this was a goal of mine as well. Not on my list of goals, I don't believe, but like in the back of my mind, it was something that I wanted to do. And I did. I grew some fruit. I forget what the little berries were. I grew some berries, and I found out that the birds liked them. So birds got to them before I could. And then I grew watermelons, personal size watermelons, and I had about half a dozen going on 3 different plants, and all of them split on me at some point in their growing stages. So I didn't get any fruit. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I planted out. Oh, I planted out some Concord grape plants, but they're not going to mature for years now. And then I also bought a peach tree, which probably won't be giving me fruit for years. So I'm trying to get some fruit out there, but I just haven't yet. So what I plan on growing as far as that goes is I want to do watermelons again. Gonna try it. And then I started my strawberries, like I told you about when I mentioned the perennials, putting perennials on a property. I want to grow ground cherries outdoors again, and those will provide me something fruity. So I think I've already gotten a handle on everything that I have on my list. Last year, I think I had 7 or 8 things on my list, and I accomplished, if there were 7, I accomplished 5. If there were 8, I accomplished 6. I seem to remember there were 2 things on my list that I didn't get to, one of them being the rain barrel, and I can't remember what the other one was. At any rate, this year, I'm going to go a little lighter on myself. I'm only doing a list of 5, and anything else that I get accomplished that's in the back of my mind is just gravy. All right, friends, I hope I've inspired you to make a couple goals for your garden this year. And if I did, be sure to let me know down below what those goals are. And that'll do it for today. I will see you guys in another video on another day. Until then, happy growing. Bye-bye.